Um, well, I've been playing for, pretty long time now, and I've only seen like probably minimal improvement, I would say.
Hmm.
So I was just like, you know what? I think I play this a little bit too much to not be getting better. So,
Yeah.
and I've seen your videos, so I was like, I'll give it a shot.
Okay. Okay. How long have you been playing Overwatch historically? You said a while, but how long specifically?
Well, I've been playing on PC since the release of Overwatch 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I played like way back in the day at the start of Overwatch 1 on console.
Mm.
But like I think I quit before Roll was introduced.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Makes sense. Um, and then you've been a DPS main at least at the time of the form. How long has that been the case?
Yeah, I've probably been playing that since I don't know, season 3, and then like season 7 I started playing Doom.
Uh huh. Why Doom?
And
Just similar to some of the other heroes that you're playing.
yeah, I just really like the movement. I like the movement characters. I really like Dive, so and then I've seen all the good Doom players, watch their streams, watch the videos, and yeah, I just love the tech.
Yeah, makes total sense to me. Makes total sense. I want to get a better understanding of the path necessary for myself to improve mechanically and fundamentally on becoming a better player. You're Plat 1 in Doomfist at the time of the form and Plat 3 on damage. Is that still the case?
I'm Diamond 4 on Doomfist, and I'm Plat 3 on DPS.
Okay, nice. I guess not a huge jump there, but that's still regardless nice to see.
Yep.
Doomfist, Genji, Tracer, Echo, is that DPS pool still the same?
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. And you play around 30 hours per week. How is that time usually spent?
Um, Mostly all competitive.
Gotcha. Okay. Solo queue, DPS versus tank, Genji
Uh,
versus Echo, etc.
yeah, sometimes I have, duos or trios. Um, I probably play more DPS, just because, I try to duo when I play with Doom,
Yep.
because I feel like it's harder to solo queue with him.
Okay.
But I'd probably say it's like 70-30 DPS to Doom.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. It's just because you enjoy those characters more.
Um, I think I like Doom the most. I think I do enjoy playing DPS, and I've been trying to get better at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just am not seeing the results on DPS. I kind of struggle there.
Okay. Makes sense. And then in terms of your playtime breakdown between all the DPS characters, how does that usually break down? If you can pull up your career profile, that would be optimal.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see. Well, I used to one trick Genji, so she
Mm-hmm.
probably has the most time. So competitive, and then what? All seasons.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would even just
Oh,
look like at the last couple of seasons, right? Like that might be an easier way of doing it. It's like at
okay.
this season, the season
Well,
before, and so on.
season 13, I had 29 hours on Tracer, 8 on Genji, and 2 on Echo.
Okay.
And I had 17 hours of Doomfist. And I also have an alt account, but I don't know how much I put on there as well.
Okay.
Season 12, 26 hours on Doomfist, 17 hours on Genji, 12 hours on Tracer, 2 hours on Echo.
Okay. So Echo's definitely the third wheel.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely play more Genji Tracer.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. And you like that? You prefer Genji Tracer over the Echo?
Yeah. I
It's
just
not
felt
like I
like I
feel like I
needed
have
like,
to.
yeah, I felt like I just like needed to add one more character in there just in case.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So Genji, Doomfist, Tracer. I think hero pool wise, like you're probably okay. Like I think from how much you're playing, it's probably fine. The
hmm
question be is how do you approach things right now in terms of tank versus DPS? When do you play tank? When do you play DPS? You said you like tanking as part of a duo queue, but is there any sort of like strategy or timing or theory about when you do and when you don't? How does that usually work?
Um, no, I kind of wing it for the most part.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll like warm up on my alt account and then go to this one. If I like want to play Doomfist. But
Okay.
sometimes if it's just DPS, I just get right into it.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. That might be something to consider.
hmm
is having a little bit of a strategy with how you're approaching your hero pool.
Yep.
So the best way to do that would be something like this is going to be a DPS primary week or a tank primary week where you play a little bit of the majority of DPS or a little bit of a majority tank
Yep.
and put your hours in first, right? Uh,
Okay.
I'm also curious when you're playing a lot, what does the average day of playing look like? Is it around 4 hours of just solo queue? Do you take breaks, etc.?
Um, yeah, well, I work overnight, so I
Mm-hmm.
wake up pretty late and then have to get ready for work. So
Mm-hmm.
I usually try and get like 3 hours in on the days that I work, and then on
Yep.
the days that I don't work, I usually play for like a while. But I didn't play for a week after Rivals launched,
Yep.
so
Makes
I'm a
sense.
little rusty.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd say 2 to 3 hours is more than enough if you're getting that in a daily thing, especially if your goal is like, let's just say your goal is to get to diamond and DPS. You should
Yeah.
be able to do that with 2 to 3 hours, like that per day. Like that should be no problem.
Okay.
I would just hesitate to try to play too much catch up on the weekend. On the weekend, if you're going to play for longer periods of time, just make
Hmm.
sure that you are playing seriously for 3 to 4 hours like you would in a normal weekday, and then the rest of it is just playing for fun. Like if you're trying to play catch up, you're just probably practicing poorly.
Okay. Yeah, so like quality over quantity.
That's it. Right.
Yep.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Warm up. Do you have a warm
Mm.
up routine?
Um, Sometimes I just go to the alt account and just play a couple competitive games there, and then I get into the main account. Sometimes I do Vaxta for like 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I wouldn't say it's like a routine. It's more
Okay.
just like what
How
I'm
you
feeling.
feel? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What rank is your alt account?
Um, well, I played yesterday on it to try and get some practice. I went from Diamond 4 Doomfist to low Diamond 5. I lost a
Okay.
lot. And then I think I'm like Plat 4 on DPS.
So about the same. Okay.
Yeah.
Um. Again, I think having some sort of a structure with how you try things just to see what works for you. And I don't think that there's a very clear answer about what structure is best. I think it's
Mhm.
kind of your call. Like if you like playing ranked on your alt as part of your warm up, that's okay with me. If you like Faxa or Deathmatch, I think that's okay with me. I would say for characters like Genji, Tracer, and to a lesser extent Doomfist, I think Deathmatch is really, really good just based off the nature. And I think Vaxa is like really, really bad.
Okay.
It's better than nothing, because you can practice basic mechanics and like, getting your dash combos and blink target acquisition and all that kind of stuff. But like so much of the character is like very dynamic mechanically, right? So it's really, really hard to just say, oh, you just need to shoot the bots. Like it's just very different from how the game actually plays out. Again, I encourage you to be strategic and deliberate with how you're practicing, not only your practice but also your warm up as well, and finding out what feels right, what feels best for you. Have you played much deathmatch before?
Um, like in between queues, yeah.
Sure, sure. I would give it a shot. I would see how it goes. I don't know. I know you said you queue. What time approximately EST do you queue with your job?
Probably like 6:30 to like 9:30
AM or PM?
PM.
PM. Okay. There may or may not be a try hard free for all custom game as well. I'm sure you've heard of those, right?
Yeah.
Just maybe worth trying out. But I really think if you want quality mechanical practice, you're going to need consistency of play. You're going to need consistency of warm up, and something like deathmatch is like a lot of practice. A lot of practice. You get a lot of reps in. So that might be something to try.
Okay, perfect.
Now I'm curious, how long have you been playing consistently for long periods of time? How long has that been the case for you? So like you would say putting in 30 hours since when?
Um, at least a year, I think.
Okay, at
Yeah,
least a year.
around
Do you
that.
feel like where was your rank when you started that?
Oh, I started like bronze,
Mm-hmm.
all the way at the bottom. Yeah,
Okay.
because I only played Genji for, since like season 3.
Yep. Yep.
And
Okay.
then season 7 started to branch out a little bit.
Okay. Makes total sense. So when did you hit platinum or diamond for the first time?
I think, well, platinum was diamond was last season on Doomfist, and uh platinum I hit, I think it was like, here I can check, but I think it's season 6.
Okay.
Yeah, it was season 6.
Okay. Let's take a think here. So you are progressing, right? Just you've hit a recent snag around the higher rank, so we need to find out what needs to be done better.
Right, yeah.
So you put in a lot of time, you get rewarded with a lot of rank, but then you kind of hit a snag once things start to get a little bit tougher. We need to figure out what we need to be doing differently. Okay,
Yep.
fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. So I highly recommend experimenting with warm up. Highly recommend taking time between games, taking little breaks. Highly recommend being a little bit more deliberate with your playtime on your weekends, right? Just being a little bit more deliberate with your split between tanks and DPS. There's nothing super earth shattering or brilliant here, but I highly recommend just considering those factors. You're playing around 30 hours per week. I like to hit diamond long term, top 500. I think my mechanics are trash. I struggle to aim and feel like it's really holding me back. Also have a hard time finding a sensitivity. It feels comfortable for me. So talk to me about your sensitivity right now. What is your EDPI as it is
Uh,
right now?
EDPI, I'm not 100% sure, but I play at 1600 DPI and 3.25
Okay, it's a
in
little
game.
high, but it shouldn't be an issue at all. Your sense is fine. Stop tweaking your sense. Basically, you have one more time. You have one
Yeah.
more sense swap card, and then you just need to lock and play it. That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
People second guess themselves so much. They just need to play the sensitivity. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. Your sense is fine,
Okay.
especially for the characters that you're playing. Also, just fundamental errors on my entire hero pool, whether it's for bad positioning, over aggression, too passive, bad movement, overall skill issues. So a lot of issues. At this point, I'm questioning everything from mouse grip, height of chair, keyboard, and mouse placement. Literally everything I play this game way too much to not be improving. It's this honestly sad. Okay, well, maybe you've had some time to reflect on those words.
For
How do you?
sure, for sure.
All right, talk me through it.
I've definitely been like overthinking like every little detail. Because I would say I'm like relatively new to PC and FPS in general. It's been like 2 years, so I kind of just like jumped into this. So I'm not really like super familiar with how you're supposed to grip the mouse or whatever, like all the little niche things to it, I guess.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I might have, been a little hard on myself there.
Yeah, that's something to consider. That's something to consider because I think like when you're frustrated and you're emotional about it, it could be a little bit of an overreaction. In reality, it's
Right.
not. It's not that deep. It's not that
Yeah.
deep. You've been
Yep.
progressing. You've hit a bit of a snag, but you've not hit as big of a snag in bronze. You've hit a bit of a snag in high plat, right? Like that. That's pretty good. Like you're already better than a pretty large percentage of the player base. You have a couple of things that we could take a look at in terms of your training habits and all that kind of stuff. We don't really need to overthink it. We'll just take a look and we'll give you some goals to work on. And I think there's also something to be said about like definitely something to be said about trying to do too many things at once, right? Whether that's your sensitivity, mouse grip, your positioning, cooldown usage. There's like way too many variables going on in your brain, so you're not really improving in any one. You're just kind of like levitating, and you're
Yeah.
surprised that you're not improving, right? You need to be a little bit more deliberate, a little bit more patient, and sometimes you also might just need to do some of the boring stuff too, right? Like you need to take a look at like how are you approaching tank, how are you approaching DPS. Please stop changing your sensitivity and probably have a little bit of a consistent warm up. That might go a long way to just not necessarily immediately improving your rank, but over the long course of time improving your rank. And I think that's kind of what we want to look for.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's. I don't really have any other questions for you. Do you have any questions for me?
Not at this time.
All right, you want to shoot me a replay code and we take a look?
Do I have one is the question. Not on
Yeah,
this
things have
account.
been white.
Oh yeah, I might have one on the other account. Let me
Sure,
hop on
give it a
that real
shot.
quick.
If not, we could do some live coaching or something. We'll figure something out.
Okay. I think yesterday I just played Doom. Okay, I think I got one. Do you want me to just message it to you?
Okay. Was this from your ult?
Yep.
Um, and what are we looking at? Genji, Doomfist, Tracer,
Doomfist.
Doomfist. Okay. And was this a warm-up game?
Um, this is just practice from playing rivals all week and then trying to get it up to speed.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Which one are you here? We got
I'm
two.
Maul.
Maul. Okay. So what is Doomfist good at? Don't just read the abilities, but what makes him unique compared to other tanks?
Well, I think he's the fastest character in the
Yeah.
game.
Okay.
He's really good at taking off angles and really good at distracting, baiting out cooldowns. And he also has some lethality to him when you have the right opportunity.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's take a look. A lot of Doomfist is setting yourself up for success through your positioning so that you could use abilities from a short angle or you can disengage if they push you.
Yep.
And obviously using your mobility to take good angles as well. Good. Obviously a little awkward there, but it's fine.
Yep.
A little awkward there, but again, fine. So a little detail here that there's going to be a couple of the tropes that I always hit with Doomfist. One is going to be taking corners, controlling space, and so on. The second one is going to be being deliberate and accurate with your shots. And the best way to do that is to simply slow things down. So this is a nice shot, but this right here is crosshair drag, right?
Right.
You need to focus on aligning your crosshair. This doesn't mean your sensitivity is too low. This means that your brain is too low.
Okay.
You need to slow things down, and not even fire at max rate. You see, Doomfist is one of the best characters to practice trigger discipline with because he only has so many bullets anyway. So you might as well wait and take each time to aim each shot, right? But this is a situation where I need the Sombra to be half health.
Okay.
The Sombra needs to be half health so that she gives you more respect. Maybe you hit a good shot, maybe you kill her. But more than anything else, at least you force her out and at least you force BAP Juno attention this direction a little bit sooner. This is not a good enough resource trade, and this is not a good representation of what you could do mechanically when you're really locked in.
Right.
That's 3 missed shots, all lagging behind. And that's just simply because you were too busy spamming and not busy thinking, not busy aiming. I mean, even here, right? There's just a lot of crap thrown at the wall. Watch your clip here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, what are you even shooting here? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you even shooting? Like, is it fine to, like, throw one bullet every now and then out? Yeah, it's fine, because you'll recharge it. But this is bad. Like, this is what you need. You need a quick tap punch here and then have 4 bullets there. Sure. Sure. Doom Sombra versus Doom Sombra. Yeah, I mean, it happens. There you go. Doom Sombra Mirror. That's wild.
Yep.
Um,
I stayed
this
too
is
long.
no. If you're gonna stay, you got to give respect to the person that's most lethal on the battlefield, which is not the Doomfist right now. Like, if you're gonna be here, you need to look at the Sombra, not at the Doomfist, right?
Yep.
I mean, you could literally hear her. You know she's there, right? So you know she's there. It's just to get your brain off of the tank. And this is, by the way, this would be the same answer if this was a BAP, Zen, Ana, whatever the case may be. Don't look at this guy when this guy's right next to you, right? It's okay to mirror tank when the tank is what's accessible. For example, when you were over here, you were trading the tank because the backline's way over here and you didn't have an angle on them. It's fine. But now there's just no excuse for you to be focusing Doom at the expense of Sombra, and that's what ends up killing you. And then, to be honest with you, your sports missed a couple of shots. Good. Good. Sure, it's a good try. You're on a different angle, which is good. That's a good shot from her. A little deep here. Obviously, you know, goes without saying. That's generally not always a good idea. Sometimes it is, because what you could do is you can use your block to defend damage, right? But this is where if you want to get into the tech, what should you do here? You're using your block to avoid getting nuked, right? First off, is that even necessary with the HP that you're at? No. But even if it was, how would you approach this? In this
if
mirror.
I was like lower health, I really want to wait until their Doom blocks so that I punch them out of it instead of the other way around where he punches me out of my block.
But you can't. You're low health. Right? Like, the optimal is, oh, I will always use my cooldown second. Yeah, well, then how are you going to do that, right? So, here's what you do. You block, he charges punch, and you cancel your block and you strafe.
Okay.
Because he's now locked into, oh, I got to punch this guy, right? But he's not expecting you to cancel your block, which means that he is more likely to miss the punch because obviously your movement speed like triples, right? So yeah, just a little tip here, because you can't always go, I will never block in front of a Doomfist with punch. Sometimes you need to just to live. Just block until he starts to punch, then cancel the block and strafe because they're going to get canceled anyway.
Okay.
Little tip. And here you really just need to back off. You're down a few. It's fine. Now, this is again a situation when you really got to question how far back are you willing to go. Because again, if we were to literally draw a line in the sand here, which this will be pretty funny here. Who's closer now, Doomfist or backline? Doomfist, but by how much? It's really close, right? And this is when your target priority changes. This is when your target priority changes. Now, I know there'll be situations when they're on like Ana or Zen, and you're like you're scared, and I have to be careful. I got to be watch out. But even then, you still should be thinking about backline. You shouldn't necessarily go on the backline, but you should be thinking about them. Maybe slam up top, harass, distract. But you cannot let these guys walk this far forward for free. Like this is cute and all. Like, but you're giving. Look at the space that you give their Sombra, and look at the space you give their Juno.
Yeah, they have the whole map now.
The entire map, right? And so now for you to go for the backline feels almost impossible. It's just like, it's one of those things where you just have to, sometimes just have to pray that your team isn't going to immediately die, right? It's easier said than done, but it just you just have to look at it that way. Whereas now, this makes total sense because he's right there. Nice punch. I mean, this is kind of what we're looking for mechanically. I know he's moving in a predictable arc, but like, that's pretty good, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we want. That sucks. Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I get it. You thought you were going to die, but man, death is totally fine here, really.
Yeah.
So just a good general rule here. And this is a very situational rule, but it's something you need to keep an eye on. Use your slam right now.
Okay.
Use it right now. Get to here, and then consider even tap punching. Even with the empowered punch, you can often just kill her right off the bat. If she hits a wall, she just dies. So yeah, this is just a situation where you're trying to go for like this big punch, but you just don't really need it. You could just slam her out.
Yeah, you get caught here.
And there it is. Here's the Ursa swap. Sure. You're chasing again, you notice it?
Yeah.
And then can you guess what immediately gets filled?
The middle. And
the middle
up there too, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don't play patty cake with Orisa if there's another angle available. Now the funny thing is if you have a really good off angle on tank and not really good off angle on the backline, you can win the Orisa tank trade. You can, absolutely. You can cancel her Javelin spin. The only thing that you have to really worry about is Javelin on your block. Even Fortify is not all that scary if you have block, as long as she doesn't have Javelin, right? So like you could basically take less damage than you do. It's fine. But you have another option here, right? You have another choice. You have another angle available to you.
Yep. I should have gone on the map.
It's just what's the best angle for approach? What's the best angle for approach? And I think approaching main is just not the best. Like even if you were to tank the tank trade, I want you to do it from here, right? where
Yep.
she has to look in a different direction. That's kind of the goal with this character.
It's over there.
Where should you slam to?
Either up top or like all the way over by the stairs.
I agree. I think up top is tough because, I mean, I guess you could do like a drop punch. This is probably what you do. You'd flank, right?
Yeah.
But there's also just a world where like you could just off angle the tank. This is fine.
Okay.
Orisa cannot push you here for free. She can't. She will die. All right? And then you can also have access to backline here. Doomfist is not scared of tank trading. You're not Winston, right? Even Winston is sometimes okay with it, but like you are not scared of tank trading. It just always has to be on an angle because it abuses the fact that you have mobility. And it means if a tank trade goes south, you can always just immediately disengage.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. Slow down the shots. Slow down the shots. You've seen that major issue. This is where your mechanical practice is really going to kick it to another level because right now you're just spamming. You want to know why you're not progressing as fast as you are mechanically as you should? Imagine if you gave somebody a bow and arrows, like get better at this. And then you said, just don't even aim at any target. Just shoot arrows randomly into the grass, right? That's basically what you're doing. You're not progressing your mechanics because you're just shooting arrows randomly into the grass. You're not giving yourself the time to slow down, realign your crosshair, pick that crosshair up, put it down. You know, you're just throwing it. And that has to change.
Okay.
It's not bad to slow things down such to the point that you're like not even fully utilizing your clip. That's fine. Little detail with this matchup too. Once she's used her hack, you could just block here if you want to, because she's got opportunist, and so she's got a freaking mega butt ton of damage that she's putting out right now. So if you're not going to punch her, you need to block, because look at your HP, right?
Yeah,
so you're not going to, you're not going to die necessarily, but you really, 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 really don't want to lose this much HP for no reason. So either block after hack or punch. Your choice. Be decisive.
Yeah, then I stay too long.
Supports bail you out.
Yep. I love punching that lamp.
I think there's a certain percentage of Doomfist plays where it's like objectively, strategically, it's just not smart. But honestly, sometimes you just have to do it. You're playing this character to do this. Okay? Right? This is why you're playing Doomfist. So I'm not going to make fun of you for trying.
Okay.
So there will be a certain percentage of plays where you got to do it for the vine, you know, you got to do it for the clip. Like, I get it.
Yep.
I understand. Just make sure that it's earned. Like that would have been sick. You know what I'm saying? That would have been sick. So you know what? It gets the thumbs up for me. But don't be and I love this guy to death. I think he's a great Doomfist player, but don't be quaked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a line, you know, there's a line.
Yeah.
Be more like, I think there's like a line between a zebra and a quaked in my mind. Maybe that's uneducated, but
No, there's definitely a difference in play style. I would agree with you there.
you know, it's unnecessary risks, you know, for the clips, right? So by the way, this is another one of those situations where you're making the wrong call. I know you're playing a character that's hypermobile, but your character still has limitations, and a lot of times your hypermobility can be used aggressively. You're using it defensively here when nobody's pressuring you. The irony here is if you want to know what the right answer is to help your team, what's the answer here? Who should you be pressuring?
Is Widow back yet? I think I see.
She's right around here. You could. You ready for the crazy answer? Orisa.
Right there. Okay.
Orisa. Why? Because she's there. She's there.
Do I just punch her in to my team?
Just punch her, evaluate the battlefield, go from there. The difference, again, is the proximity and the convenience of your angle versus the target that your angle provides, right? This is something that I talk about in pretty much every single review that I do. This is exactly why, because you go back to chase Sombra, she translocates out, you've now enabled Sombra, you've used an ability on Sombra, and now you're out of position, right? and not to mention taking a lot of damage. It's not about tank versus DPS or support as much. I think the priority should always be DPS and support if they're equally close, right? Just because they're easier to kill. But if
it's more convenient.
right, but if you, it's the same thing here. If you took the angle here, you were going to be shooting the Orisa, which you did earlier, right? Same thing here.
Okay.
There are exceptions to that rule. Like if you're like, oh, Sombra no Translocator, 1 HP, I can cheat and get the kill. Sure, of course. It's not a hard rule. It's just a guideline. Just a guideline. But it is something that you're repeatedly failing, ironically peeling both back tanks and support. And I say ironic, but actually it's logical. Because it does seem like you have a tendency to try to help your backline.
Yeah, I try.
Yeah. And I appreciate that when it's appropriate. I appreciated that, I think, really early in this VOD when there's a Doomfist back here and you peeled and the backline again was over here. We talked about that. But there's been at least 4 or 5 times when it's been very inappropriate with how you were set up. And you're allowing BAP and Sombra and Widow and this time Orisa to walk forward for free. And I think that's a huge mistake. Okay.
I missed a lot here. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Shots just aren't there. But the engage is good. The angle was good. Cooling usage was pretty good. Sure. Probably would just prefer you to save this. Just let them come out first. I think this is going to be hard to follow up off of.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what we expected, right? It's just so nice to have Empowered Punch going into a fight, right? So nice. Even if you end up just using it on an Orisa, that's fine. You take a huge chunk of her HP, jab and spin, forward fight, etc. Yeah, just generally, this is not where your team is fighting. And I don't know that you were aware of that.
I knew that Anna was in the corner, but I think I was just there for too long and not knowing.
Yeah,
that the song was
and to be fair, your team
second.
backed off a little unexpectedly considering how much farther forward you were fighting earlier. This is fine. You have a lot of choices. Why not go for the squishy that's hacked? Sure. Nice. Get him out. Nice. Nice. Now go for backline because they're equal distance. Nicely done. I mean, you could literally see it. You're just like, it's like a laundry list, right? Okay, this target and then this target and this target.
Yeah.
And it's just because who's available, right? And it's just super, super, super simple. Nice job. Okay. This is a cap here. Let's keep going. What I'm seeing here are generally... Okay, so this is the funny thing. I do think everybody should benefit and would benefit from taking a lot of time thinking about your short off angles. Like, what short off angle, what short off angle. But I actually think that's been one of the things that you've done relatively well is your setup. And your cooldown usage has been okay. It's not been great, but it's not been a weakness. The weakness has been your tendency to peel and how little value you get out of your weapon in clutch situations.
Yep.
So far. So far.
Yeah, the offense is really bad here.
Yeah. Any questions so far?
No, I think you've kind of answered all my questions.
All right, let's take a look. Yep. That's just she needs to die. Like there's just in no world does she need to die. I will say one other little thing as well. If you see how far away this Orisa is and you don't really need your mobility cooldown, please tap punch her.
Okay.
Get her out. Guarantee getting her out. If you hit this punch here, she's gonna hit the wall. She's either going to die or she's going to have to translocate towards her team. She's cooked. Just get her out. You don't need the mobility here. But yeah, same kind of stuff with the shots. That being said, still positioning is correct. I mean, this rotation stuff is pretty good, mate. This is pretty good. I really like how you've approached this first point. It's fine.
I think I
Now,
didn't hear.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, everything has gone according to plan. You've shoved them into the locker. You can now take any staging you want. Your Sojourn power angle, Ana power angle, Sombra power angle, Doomfist power angle. Like, this should be untakeable for them. You can literally sit up here, drop punch, even into hack, bash, whatever. You're totally fine. Yeah. Now, to be fair, were you the person that died?
Not first.
But you're the reason your team walked forward.
Yeah. And
Outside of your...
we lost this fight.
Correct. Take the space, hold the space. Yep. Sure. Stop taking damage, stop taking damage. I know you're fishing for block, but you gotta be really careful. I want the same thing that you did on the attack. Do that again. Same rotation. Sure. The only problem is how much damage that you're taking in these rotations unnecessarily. That's the only problem. What you're doing, who you're pressuring, the angles that you're taking. This time peeling out the Sombra because this is the lane that you want anyway, right? So she just happens to be there. Perfect. It's good.
Yep.
That's where peeling's appropriate because you're there. Just get out here, honestly. That's not getting out. What would you do to get out here? Give me two choices.
Just slam back to my team.
Yep,
Yeah,
or if you want to hold the angle, what else?
Go up top.
That's a little bit of the old crappy Doomfist. Oh, use a cooldown to get in, use a cooldown to get out. That's all I do to play Doomfist.
Yeah,
it's like, that's not how you play
Doomfist.
Yeah, that's not how you play Doomfist, right? Because, like, look at all the space that you've given up. Look how easy it is to CC you. You probably should have died there. Nice punch.
Thank you.
Would prefer a better angle here instead. So, if you're going to commit here, what do you got? You see it, right?
Yeah, go to the right side.
Slam here, punch here, Merry Christmas, right? They counter bash, but they get all the attention going this way, away from your team. Your Sojourn ult's wide open, and then when you get nanoed, you're actually killing people and not staring an Orisa down the throat. So it's actually like, I really like where you're setting up here, but I really hate this. I like really, really hate this. It's not just the target party, but also the positioning from it as well. And this is a classic example, right? Of like just how, like, now you're set up well, but man, we should have had somebody dead immediately. Nice, like, okay, hang on. Okay. Probably worth ulting this, honestly. Yeah, just get the kill. Check this out. So first off, probably would have stayed in the air a little longer to get a little bit more HP back. Their supports are not coming back anytime soon. But do you see your punch?
Yeah.
Stop charging it.
Yeah.
Tap it. Not just because, oh, I don't need... You just need to get out. You need this to be done. High rank Doomfist, like, this is something I had a session a couple of weeks ago where we basically was working with like a high masters Doomfist. We literally talked about this like almost the entire review. It just isn't necessary. It gives them more time to counterplay. The damage scaling isn't as forgiving. It allows them to damage you more, react more. You basically only use your charge punch anytime you're doing so as an element of surprise, either dropping from high guard or coming in from a flank. You just tap it here. Just tap it.
Yep.
Because they're actually, like, the reason you die is because you don't tap punch. If you tap punch, slam out, I think you guys win this.
Yeah. I don't think we get another chance, really. It's a good one.
This is decent. Yeah. So the Orisa's not here, so you're able to, like, take this left angle. Yeah, this is good. This is not good. Probably would have just disengaged, but it's not even bad, necessarily. Just play your life. Yeah, this is just like a question of a little bit of mechanics, and sometimes you tend to just kind of lock in and you have to kill a target instead of just reset, go again. I know it's like, oh, this fight's lost. Yeah, but maybe you guys can, like, make them overextend. Disengage, play your life, feed support ult charge, and so on.
Yeah, I think I just got too fixated on the break.
Good. Get her out. Definitely punch that. Definitely slam that. Yep. Um. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I had the angle and then
You
I
had the
left
angle,
it.
right? Even if it was contested, like, I'm sorry. I don't care if it's a Kitsune or Kiriko Pocket Hanzo. I think you can clear these guys out. They walk away from you because they think you're going to clear them out. And oh my days, like, even if you're not here in time for the EMP, you could still follow up a little bit later. Because the reality is that this situation is like, it's hard to follow up from the EMP from this angle anyway. Case in point, right? Like, do you see how you are pushing them away instead of congesting them in? That's what you want, right? You want to compress them. You don't want to spread them.
Yep.
Like, oh man, it's painful to
Yeah.
watch. Painful to
Yeah.
watch. Because there's nothing really particularly wrong about with what you do here once you've committed, right? Like, you use the punch, you use the slam, you use the block, you disengage. But it's just all wrong from where you're doing it. All wrong from where you're doing it. So I complimented your positioning, and then you let me down.
Yeah.
I will say, though, the funny thing is it definitely feels like you have an understanding. At moments, you could see it. Like, you're strategic and very deliberate, and then sometimes you just bail. And for no reason, really. Like, this one, I didn't even feel like there was a very clear logic behind why and when you bailed, either. Maybe you can clarify? I don't know. I mean, this game had to been pretty recent, right?
Yeah, this was last night. This was right before everything, and not playing for a week, so I just wanted to like kind of get back into things. But I feel like I don't know if I just like, oh, I know he's gonna EMP here, like I want to be like ready for the big punch.
Yeah.
And I got a little too greedy when I probably just should have just punched all the way over while I was on the high ground and then drop on them, and plan would be ready by then, and and then it would just be cleanup at that point.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that then is an aspect that needs to be cleaned up here. So let's take some notes on Doomfist before we take a little bit look at whatever's next here. Doom, what do you got? Give me a couple of points here.
The aim tracking, like just take a little bit more time on like when you are. Don't just,
shots.
Yeah, don't just like waste your clip. I'd say like go for the target that's most convenient on the angle, on that short off angle that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I have the position, don't waste it. And tap punch. Tap punch. No need to charge all the time.
Yeah, it's situational, right? Like, anytime that you can get a charge punch for free, you should do so. But I would say the reality is about 25% of your punches will be charge punches, depending on the situation. Most punches, when you're actively dueling somebody in the open, it's just tap punch. With few exceptions. But I wouldn't necessarily try to follow those numbers. Just look at each one on a case-by-case basis.
Right.
Okay. Do you want to move on here? Doomfist to, I guess, whatever you want to. Genji, Tracer. We got a little bit more time.
Yeah. I don't have any replays.
That's fine.
Do you
That's
want me
fine.
to do like a quick
You know what?
play or something?
Actually, here's what we should do. We should actually do a Doomfist game. Let's jump into a Doomfist game.
Okay.
You're ice cold, but like we can actually practice one of these things.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. You want me to just jump into a quick play or a comp?
Oh no. Go ranked. Go ranked.
Okay.
Full out. Just practice. Doesn't matter what it is.
All right, and then I share my screen. Is that working or no?
Let's see. It's not up right now.
All right, let me see. We can just do the screen. Is it working now?
Yep. Sure thing. You're all set. Get my recording set up here. Yeah, I guess I can do some deathmatch while we're chilling. Any questions about anything we talked about?
No, I think all of it's been pretty helpful. Because now I have like a direct goal, I'd say, what I need to work on.
I'm thinking for this live coaching session, what we'll do is we'll focus on just your setup phase, not really how you respond mid-fight. I'm okay with you just screwing that up. It's fine. But just setup phase. And then as the fight evolves, like as soon as the fight starts, I want you to work on the trigger discipline, slowing down your shots.
Okay.
So we'll do something a little bit more positional, and then just ignore your positioning once you're set up and just focus on mechanics. Which it can be exactly how you practice. Don't recommend practicing 2 things generally, usually just 1. But because I'm here, I'll be able to help you with that. And also because you could just worry about your setup and then not worry about it anymore, it might be worth to do.
Okay.
I remember when this game mode first came out. It was, I want to say, right around when Brigitte came out. And there was a period of time, man, when there were 4 or 5 people playing Brig in this game mode. And she was unkillable. This was back in the day. It was the cringiest thing ever.
That sounds awful.
It was like, and there were periods of time, like, later on. I remember gaming games with, like, 2 Junkrats when he could, like, he had no fall off on his conk, and he had 2 conks, basically just 2-tap you with his conks, not even hit a shot.
Right.
It was like 2 Junkrats in that room down there. There'd be like a Moira 2, a Brig, and then like a Roadhog, and you're just like, you know, what am I doing?
Yeah,
like,
what am I doing in here? Okay, I like this map.
This stuff is good. Short angle setup, slow down your shots.
Okay.
Do me a favor and leave voice just for this game.
Okay. That is not leaving.
There you go. That is a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Every tank player's
No dive,
dream.
though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. The tank experience.
Yeah, oh, remind me. Let me actually... No peel.
No peel, right.
No peel unless convenient.
Okay.
It kind of ties in with the second thing, but it was worth noting that your target party generally diminished as a concept or as a result of you peeling.
Okay.
More so than anything else. Okay. Initial staging. Have some fun with it. Short off angle, your choice.
Yep.
Don't overthink it too much. Now slow down your shots. So for the rest of this, I just want you to focus on hitting your shots.
Okay. Ooh.
It's fine. Like I said, we don't really care about, like, should you have gone in? Should you have gone out? Was there a better angle? We don't care. Slow down and hit your shots.
Okay.
You were also down 1 almost immediately.
Oh, who died?
I think you're Ash.
Oh, okay.
Torb, or whoever he was on.
Switch Mercy. Okay.
Initial staging first. Mm-hmm. Now hit your shots. Slow it down. You see it?
Yep.
There it was. Same thing, slow it down. I mean, it's night and day, right? Same thing with the Sojourn. It was incredible. Well done.
Thank you.
And not only, see, this isn't just like a shortcut to get better mechanics either. What it does is it helps you to get better mechanics long term. Like, that's going to make your mechanics better over a lot of practice. Good stuff. Yeah, just chill for right now till your team comes back. And then things set up.
Ooh. Lost where to go.
That's fine. I mean, you needed to not be 1 HP before you got ulted.
Yeah.
You got a little silly with the early fight pressure, and then your team was in spawn, and so... Same thing here. Don't do anything crazy. All right, set up. Team is here.
Is you chasing?
Mm-hmm. Setup. Keep focused on the setup. Keep focused on the setup. Okay, shots. Slow it down. Just gonna sleep you. Take your time here. Take your time, and I want good shots here. I want good shots. Beautiful. Good shots. Good shots. Yeah, good stuff. Good fight. I thought you were gonna punch the Mercy, but
I was looking for it, but then I was like, I don't want to get too greedy.
All right, set up. This is good. All right, shots.
Oh no.
That's okay. Your team is dead. Good stuff, mate. Like, both the setup phase initially has been pretty good. And then the mechanical practice has been really good as well. Results aside, this is exactly how you should be practicing.
Okay.
This is really good. Your team is in spawn.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's your fault. Don't stagger. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. All the way out. All the way out. All the way out. All the way out. All right, set up. All right, shots.
Ooh, I missed.
No, it's okay. The shots were there, though. That was so nice.
Oh,
That's fine.
that was pretty bad.
Well, see, this is where you gotta wipe that kind of adjective from your brain, because I know it feels bad, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you practiced well. I think you did exactly what we needed to do. I think your team played really poorly, like really, really poorly. Your Mercy player clearly did not know how to play Mercy at all. She only filled because somebody cried for hit scan. I can promise you. Somebody wanted a pocket, and so then naturally you guys lose. That being said, for what we wanted to practice is exactly it. There's a couple of fights you trolled. You still have a tendency to take too much damage pre-fight because you get a little greedy with it. Your staging wasn't perfect. Your cooldown usage was not perfect. But for what we wanted to practice, I mean, it literally doesn't get any better than that, right? That's literally exactly what we wanted to practice. You practice tight staging. You slow down your shots. When you didn't get kills, it looked good. When you did get kills, it looked great. That's exactly what we need to do. Okay. Do you have any questions?
Like towards the end there, like when they're just like all on that like main thing, I feel like I was just like kind of going back and forth between which lane should I go? Like, should I go
Give me the
on
code
right
really.
side?
Give me the code really fast, and we'll take a look.
Okay.
The answer is probably a lot simpler than you think.
Okay. Yeah, because I felt like I was wasting too much time trying to figure out which way to go.
Yep. This is towards the end, you said?
Yeah, like towards the end when they're like almost at respawn.
Like here? Or was it even here?
Hold up. Not seeing the screen.
Click on the profile picture in the top of the Discord call. Click around, you'll find it.
Wait. Oh, there it is.
Okay. You talking about here?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, the reality is that you have a luxury of riches. That's what it is. Both are good. If you want a more flanky go to backline approach, this is the way to go. If anybody contests you in here, you maul them. Get it? If you go up top right here, you also clear this thing out really easily too.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
This is what we'd call more peely, more marky, but it's good peeling because it's good for you. Like, you like this. This is an angle. It's a short sight line. It's what we want to do. It's fine. But if you chose here, well, then you need to go flank, and that's exactly what you did. And turns out, yes, the Hanzo and Sojourn are free, but so are you.
Right. She doesn't even know I'm there.
Yeah, this is just where you should have done a tap punch. This is just a mechanical thing. You go shoot, shoot, tap punch, hits the wall, shoot, she's dead.
Yep. Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter. Well, actually, that happens one more time later, too. Yeah, it's right here. After this death.
Yep.
A lot of damage pre-fight, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is fine. Like, this is fine.
Okay.
You chose the other side. This is also fine. Shoot. Again, tap punch here, please. Really, really, really important that you tap punch. Puts this, because the thing with the tap punch is it's not just the damage. It realigns their head for more shots, and it stuns them.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, it's a really nice little combo. Just to shoot, punch, shoot, you know, it's really nice, right? And then you still have your slam for whatever. But this is all fine. Like, this is all fine. Like, if you want to see what happens, this is what happens. Nano?
Oh. Okay.
I just don't even know, like, what your supports were doing. They're all stacked on top of your cheeks, and, like, they're just dumb. Like, they're just dumb. It happens, you know? We all have bad days, you know, and your supports had a really bad day. But yeah, how you stage, how you position there, totally fine. It's good.
Okay. Cool.
No complaints at all. Like, you could just choose whatever short angle you want. I don't think it's really, like, a clear, you have to choose that one or you have to choose that one. It's just, like, whatever one you feel like makes the most sense. If you go on the angle with the DPS, you defend your team and get value. If you go with the team without the DPS, well, then you go on the back line and you get value. There isn't really a clear rule there. I made a rule, no pill unless convenient. Practice these things. I generally recommend one at a time, one per game. You don't have to practice it for the entire day because that gets really boring. But you could practice these things. Okay, this is this game, and practice this game, and you need to be deliberate, right? Over and over. Mix it up. Don't expect immediate results. Slow and smooth. Smooth is fast. And like I said, don't forget to take a quick look at how you're warming up and how you're drilling, etc. Clean up your practice time, practice schedule, and all that kind of stuff as well.
Right.
Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, we got a few more minutes. Do you have any other questions?
I guess on DPS, I mean, I know we've been talking about Doom a lot, but I've been really trying with Tracer and Genji, and I never do enough damage, you know? I always try to take the angle, but like I'm out of the fight too long and whatever. And I'm trying to like find a way to like, I don't know, do more damage, but like still be on the off angle, you know? Like I can't find that balance.
Well, you're probably leaning too hard into flanks unnecessarily.
Okay. Yeah,
They're probably, it's just a short off angle with really both of them, right? It doesn't have to be flanky, right? It's the same rule. Shoot Orisa or shoot backline. Prefer backline, but if the Orisa's on my short angle, I'm going to shoot the Orisa. It doesn't matter if I'm Tracer or Genji. So what you would look at is, are you missing easier, faster, simpler rotations, simpler angles, simpler off angles, or simply crossfire positions that would allow you to get... It's not so much about damage. It's about, is it taking you too long to get there in the middle of the fight?
Okay. Yeah.
And a lot of the similar stuff applies with Doomfist. You know, shoot what's convenient, etc. Take time with your shots, and so on.
Okay.
Good question.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
The sensitivity looks fine to you?
Doesn't look like a problem to me. No. I mean, you're playing Doomfist Genji Tracer, so something on the slightly higher end is probably, and you're around just under 5K. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
not a problem.
Yeah, I've bumped around from 800 DPI, 16, 32, tried everything. I've been sticking with this sensitivity though for, I want to say like 4 or 5 months, because I used to change it like every week. But now this is just what it's been, and I'm trying to get comfortable with it, but I still feel like I make some pretty bad errors.
Of course, but that's probably not sensitivity related.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just an easy. That's just an easy scapegoat. Oh, it's a sensitivity. No, you just need to slow down your shots, or you're just not good.
It's a lazy excuse.
Yeah, it's because it's easy to fix. That's the thing. It makes you feel good. It's not like you're not taking responsibility. It's easier to feel like, oh, I solved it. When in reality, it's gonna take a long time to solve that.
Right.
Oh yeah. Good question.